international level, there is a requirement of Ittihad Bain al-Muslimin, therefore unity of Muslims. And look at this OIC, Organization of Islamic State, is there. There are more than I think 57 states, they are all Muslims. Why don't they just combine themselves, and Darul Ifta and all these institutions should be established, and they should settle the matter, so that differences are narrowed down, and the centuries old differences of sects and all that, those should be, effort should be made to minimize them, because it's very difficult to eliminate them overnight.
Yes, and there's a point I want to sort of discuss that you mentioned a little while ago about if a man has 3 sons and 2 of them are bright, he sends them to learn grammar and get involved.
Grammar school, English school,
politics, and the whole science in the world, etc. And the one that is not very bright, he sends them to Madrassah. So the view here by a lot of people is that, well, the bright guy goes into the academic world, and the guy who's not bright goes into the Islamic world. But you know, I look at that differently. I look at it from another perspective, another perspective where I see that the guys who are already bright, they send them into the academic world, which is good, and they need to, or the politics and the science. But the guys who are not bright, the reason why they need to send them to the Madrassah to learn Quran, so the Quran will make them bright. Because you know what? Quran really instills and opens up your mind and your heart and your intellect and makes you a very bright, smart person. And I mean, I want to share with this, I mean, as a former judge and lawyer, that's what I've seen. I've seen this, and this is interesting for you to probably take back to Pakistan. You know, so when these guys go in the Madrassah, in the Darul Ulooms, they get bright, they study Quran, but here what the problem is, they are now confined to a syllabus,
that is
to
the
a thinking.
Yes, that is the main thing.
So they get bright, they think, because some of these Islamic scholars are more vocal than politicians. They are smarter, they can get up and do a better job than politicians. But what I have seen in some of the Darul Ulooms and the Islamic institutes in the Pakistan, in the Middle East, wherever, in my travel, Dr. Ghous, throughout the world, there is some problem. The madrasas and the Islamic universities and institutes, their syllabus and curriculum is confined within just here, and it does not open up to the science and the politics and the social and economical aspects in the world, while those things are in the Quran. But the universities don't have it. So the scholars coming out from there stuck to just sitting in a masjid, you see my point, are not expounding and reaching out. So therefore, when you have politicians and you have businessmen and you have country leaders who are corrupted, the imam says, well, I got to simply teach in a mosque and pray, so he does not try to lead his country.
That's the main problem. May I add one thing?
Yes.
You see, in the modern education, particularly in law, there is one paper of modern jurisprudence, English jurisprudence, and then there is also a paper of Islamic jurisprudence. That's it. Now, a few Arabic maxims. Now, that student of law, when he passes out, he is not so well conversant with Islamic jurisprudence, because by just reading one paper for the sake of exam only, he cannot be called himself a good scholar. On the other hand, in madrasa, they are not taught as to what are the sources of modern jurisprudence. They are taught the sources of Islamic jurisprudence, and they are very good. With the result, when they go out, they lack, on the one aspect, they lack knowledge of Islamic jurisprudence. On the other hand, they lack knowledge of modern jurisprudence. Today, the requirement is that a student of law or student of madrasa, he should be well equipped with the principles of with the modern principles of modern jurisprudence, as well as Islamic jurisprudence. Let me cite you one example. What are the sources of Islamic modern jurisprudence? That is conventions and traditions, legislation, judicial precedents, all this, and the works of great jurists like Blackstone and all that. Islamic sources, basic, are universally recognized Quran and Sunnah. Then ijma, ijtihad, istidlal, urf and all that. Their custom is the basic source. Here it is the weakest source, because Quran and Sunnah are the basic sources.
Of course.
So one has to blend all these ideas, principles in his mind to face the world wherever, whether it is an interfaith dialogue or whether they are giving some lecture.